I think for my Papa de Likee TV no message and that channel is so hit. I don't mind subscribe on mommy. Set me dropping the latest news to be over the brain when you be 80. Now your mom tentem yes. Ya quiet the alright team no eduma domo bobi papa no they make us say one of the NPP top official on penonwasem on penonwasem abai ensa say any name be on ho wa returning secretly or the ama alright team no say mempem ho asem enie monye penonwasem say chinebi na edu tama ye prosecute na no name or the nedia call inti wa umpe wasem no atifo ye ne fa wo de call na dwuma de omubo bi yemungram yinti Martin Pebu insema ode atodwa efa ho ye ba de ka ho no ye de emu nsem nyina ebebremo.
If somebody wants to give up the cash quietly, it's not possible. We are talking, okay, as I'm not talking for Ora, okay? I'm a citizen. I was always here before Ora came. If we were to say, oh, don't talk because you're Ora, no, we'll stifle debate, right? So let's look at it. Let's take the example of the venture capital case, Lawyer Lassie and the others. They returned the money. Venture capital, you know, venture capital, yes, a lot of it. I'm not sure they fully paid, but I know some have fully paid. But others I'm not sure of. So, but at least I'm mentioning that case where they returned it. Except that, you see, theirs came with a conviction. And also, number two, there are very few people who accept a conviction. So, with what Joe Jackson is talking about, there is the other method where we can sue in a civil court. We should explore the OSP Act when it says, to recover the corruption loot. So we can attempt, let's try the jurisprudence. You see, any lawyer who practices daily in court will tell you that he's not afraid to lose. I'm sure I'm largely in this seat because I tried certain laws in the Supreme Court. I mean, like challenge them and then I won. Even if I had lost, well, that wouldn't have been the matter, but at least would have moved the jurisprudence forward. So I subscribe to the opinion that we should try with the OSP to say that, okay, maybe we can try the civil lawsuits. Okay. Where we see that the evidence for a criminal lawsuit will be difficult to, get a conviction, and also the time spans. So, you know, the ICMC has so much money, you know, the unexplained wealth thing. Yeah, so that we'll use it. Let's try something. I mean, if we were to lose, you will not lose a lesson in the judgment. Even when you lose a case, you learn some lessons. So I support the one where we will do the civil cases where we want to recover from those people when we don't get the evidence. Mr. Api Akubi is coming here, Honorable Api Akubi. You know, he never disclosed the identity of the businessman who brought the Ghana Must Go cash to Parliament. And so it frustrated that case. Honorable Barra, you're in that Parliament. Honorable Api Akubi, who is about taking his seat now, refused to disclose the identity of the businessman. And so what happened? That case is become virtually Yamutu, right? So that's a practical lesson. So what we are saying is that, listen, there's a lot of brinkmanship, right? People who have committed crimes, criminal offenses especially, don't want to go down. And our systems are not strong enough, okay? As I've already mentioned to the judiciary, etc. Ekufuado will be in there telling Kesi don't prosecute this person, delay this because elections are close, etc. They'll go and see judges, hey, don't do this, don't do that. You see, Ekufuado who has no shame in telling Bafo Boni to resign. Can you imagine all the other things he's done to the judiciary? Okay. Right? So the point is that our systems are weak. So there is nothing wrong with exploring the civil angle where we will take money and not proceed with a criminal prosecution. But naturally, it has to be an eclectic approach. When we say eclectic, mosaic approach, so different colors. You cannot say, leave all of them, just do recovery and allow all of them to go. No, in that case, the issue of impunity you've mentioned will fester too much. So you prosecute some, then you negotiate with others. So you go with this and that, mixed approach, mosaic or eclectic. That's the way to go. But let's look at the Saudi example. You see how bin Salman got over 100 billion from the oligarchs by negotiating with them in a hotel. We should be looking at it. And of course, bringing a lot of
but
law
let me
reform.
ask you this direct question. With the oral preparatory team, have you had anybody come to you with the loot that they have taken away? That, look, you know what, I don't want any trouble, so you take the money quietly.
Okay, so you know that from our mandate, we are preparatory. So being preparatory, our mandate doesn't involve actual recovery of the loot. That will be in the second stage.
Okay.
But at least there are examples of people who say they are returning. Do you remember the example of the NIB boss who says, okay, you know, yesterday we went, oral team, we went to the Agric Extension land around
the NDA, the National Northern Development Authority?
This one, NIB, National Investigative Bureau.
Oh,
Bureau,
okay.
Former BNI,
yes.
The boss. Yeah, he said, you know, because of the advocacy Okujeto was doing on it, and he just called Okujeto and said, listen, at least that's what Honorable Okujeto said. He said, I'm returning my land. I'm no longer interested. Leave me out of this. Yesterday, we went to that place. Then,
so he's returned the land that...
Yes, he says he's no longer interested. NIB boss, Atubra. I know Atubra a bit personally. Yeah, that's what Honorable Okujeto said. That Atubra says he's no longer interested in the land. Yesterday, we visited that land. Yesterday, we went to that place. We went to Labadi, where the Blay brothers have taken the land from the Labadi beach. Then we also went to NDA. NDA too, oh, they are taking their land, selling.
Well, but the CEO says that they haven't encroached on any land.
Which one?
The Northern Development Authority.
Oh, yes, I went there. Oh, I have pictures on my phone. Hey.
I saw you. That's why I'm asking you.
He says, when you go there, you see fresh walls. In the last 1 week, they were building day and night. They've cut a lot of the land. I know the NDA office in Accra here. That's why we did the Constitutional Review Commission sittings, etc. Yeah, they've parceled it. Listen, even at one point, there's no space between the building and the wall. I'm telling you, you can send your cameras there, or you will see at one part of the building, there is no space between the building and the wall. You will see that, which is against the building code. So I'm like, how can you even sell that? You sell so much and sell illegally. Of course, the whole transaction itself, we see it as illegal. Then they've gone extra, so quadruple illegal. There's no space between the building and the wall. That's against the building code, right? Yes. So that's one example. So we visited the Agric Extension land. We've seen a lot of it. You see the loot, how they were destroying government documents, the buildings. Well, they've parceled it out. But thankfully, since they've not started construction, that's one place that hopefully will be recovering a lot of the loot. Another, so you can see, you know, we get whispers, as I said. So with time, I'm sure when we enter the stage 2, which will be the actual recovery, there will be more people coming up to offer what they've looted. Yes, because the main thing, as you said, we need a reset mind for the reset itself, a reset mindset for the reset itself, so that, you know, if you continue to do the same things, you are not likely to get different results. Is that not what is attributed to Einstein? That it is insanity to do the same things and expect what different results. So let's be looking at this recovery thing. Fortunately, you see, it's in our law. The only problem is that, so if you look, it's in the OSP Act, right? Where you can offer to do a plea bargaining. And also generally, we've brought it into our laws, plea bargaining, right? So you offer that, you do restitution to the state, and then you get a lighter punishment. But the downside of it is that some people don't want a conviction at all. Some people don't want that tag of a conviction. So sometimes if you look at the value of the loot and it's worth it, what is it about a conviction? I know, as a lawyer, I appreciate it. But where, let's say, somebody will bring you $50 million, and that's in the context of the Ghanaian economy, $50 million. Then you say, no, I don't want $50 million. I want you to be convicted in court. I want you to plead guilty in court so that you be called a convict. And then I'll take the 50 million. No. It doesn't, add up. So we have to look at our economic circumstances and then see that where the loot is huge and can turn our fortunes around, those places we can do the civil approach, recover it, and then at least help the economy. Because right now, don't forget, self-preservation is the first human instinct. Self-preservation is the first human instinct. So where you are hungry, would you be, and there is food, you insist that no, somebody has stolen the food that belongs to all of us. We are hungry now. then you insist that we want to convict him in a court of law. We want to embarrass him before we collect the food. How?
Well, you see, as you indicated, that's your personal opinion, you know, because I also hold a personal opinion, which is different from what you're saying, you know, because then again, we've gone on this path before, as you indicated. People have stolen and they have returned the money quietly. We didn't make noise about it. And some will also argue that that's why it's encouraging others to steal, because they know that after a certain period, they can recover, they just return a portion of it and say, you know, this is how much I've stolen, take it. How do you even authenticate that the $50 million the person is returning is actually what the person looted, but not more, you know? So we can go on and on about this, but look at different sides of this. Is why I welcome Professor of Jampo. Good morning, welcome. And the Honorable and the Apiakubi is also joining us. So, gentlemen, good morning, welcome.
1 minute.
Yes.
Let me add
Morning. They greeted me first.
Sorry.
Me first.
I'm just showing where to find the law also. Look at Article 41F of our Constitution.
41G.
41F.
F says to protect and preserve.
Martin was referring to OSP laws, but the Constitution itself gives us a right to go to court to retrieve any loot.
Okay.
41F, as part of enjoyment of rights and freedoms and also obligations. And you go there, it says to protect and preserve public property and expose and combat misuse and even waste of public funds and property.
I see.
So that is the main law that gives us the capacity.
All right.
Prof, go on.
Okay,
so,
thank you. As usual, but this
Prof.
time, let me copy Martin Kpebu a little. First of all, greetings to my mother, Auntie Mabel. And also greetings to... last weekend, I visited the Sunipa house where I met with my aunties, Auntie Ari and Auntie Dibo, and also Rama Hammond, Joanna and Yaya and all the people. Greetings to you. And then special greetings to UG UTAG members. This morning from 11:30 a.m., we are having our get-together. I expect all of you to be there. Come and let's unwind and have fun and prepare ourselves for hard work. And so, UTAG members, Eugene, I'm inviting you all to come to our get-together. Alfred, I'm not answering your question now, but you see, in academia, you earn your promotion by hard work, okay? What we do is we do a lot of research, and then you publish your research in outlets, internationally reputable journals, and all that. Now, to be able to get a paper published in a journal, it would have to be peer-reviewed. The idea of peer review is just about the paper that you have written being anonymized and being sent to people who are experts in that area to review what you have written, to tell you whether what you've written is nonsense or what you've written is good and must be published. So before coming here last dawn, I received a paper that I was told to review and recommend whether it has to be published or it doesn't have to be published. And then the editor of the journal, a journal in the UK, said that we've sent this paper to you to review because you have done extensive work in that area and you are an expert and also an authority in that area. And so I looked at the paper and then I was trying to see if I could salvage it, if I could see something good about it. But I had to criticize and criticize and criticize. Even when I want to comment, but there was nothing worth commenting about it. So I recommended the rejection of that paper.
Right.
Before coming here. Now, the NPP government under J. Kufuor, or after J. Kufuor, was touted with a cliche that as for the NPP, they know how to govern, but they don't know how to win elections. They know how to govern, but they don't know how to win elections. And look, I still have an admiration for J. Kufuor, even though I was disappointed with the fact that he refused to stay as a statesman and indulge himself in unnecessary partisan politics without even reading to be able to foretell that the election of 2024 was going to be a disaster for the NPP. He couldn't do that, but I still respect him. But generally, under government, in his term of government, he governed such that even though some people disagree, there was a cliche that the NPP knows how to govern very well. But when it comes to winning elections, they don't know how to do it. NDC, they know how to win elections. But when it comes to governing, they also don't know how to govern. But the history of governance under Mr. Akufo-Addo has shown that the NPP doesn't know how to govern at all. The history of governance under Mr. Akufo-Addo has shown that when it comes to governance, MPP is very incompetent.
Wow, why do you say that?
And so, well, you let me finish. By the time I'm done, you would understand. And so, why do I say that? Compare all the indicators, okay, governance indicators. Winner takes all politics. I'm talking about that practice of state capture and partisan monopolization of power, authority, resources, and everything surrounding power by a ruling party, the president and his cronies, to the exclusion and marginalization of all other Ghanaians. As winner takes all politics. Didn't we see it in its worst form under Akufo-Addo? The only thing he could do was to make Edward Nasigri Mahama an ambassador at large, just to silence him, just to kill his political ambition. Beyond that, what did he do in trying to reach out to bring more? That's one governance indicator. Look at corruption. Look at all the indicators, indices, how he governed. The fact that he could command chiefs to be getting up to be greeting him. Who are you? So, in terms of governance, you see, when we talk about governance, steering affairs of the state, good governance, efficient and effective management of scarce state resources such that it translates into developmental outcome that can tangibly be reflected in the lives of people. That's good governance. Did he do that? All he did was presidential gaslighting, telling people that things are well, but things are not well. I've done well in constructing Agenda 111. Where are the hospitals? You go around, you can't see. One district, one factory. People are always looking for jobs. You go there, factories are not working. There are no factories. Those that are there, they are merely a facade. So in terms of governance, the MPP doesn't know how to govern at all. And I'm saying this because the history of governance under President Akufo-Addo has shown this. So, in my view, the relevance of the MPP now won't lie in its failed officials forcing themselves to quickly criticize the administration of John Mahama when they themselves, they don't know how to govern. You see, they brought me the paper to review, and I rejected that paper because they themselves, they said that you are an authority in this area. So you will be able to critique the administration and the governance style of John Mahama when you yourself, you know how to govern. But when clearly you have shown that you have no idea, you have no clue when it comes to governance, then respectfully, you must keep mute. And especially when your own party is in tatters, risking disintegration. Focus on how you are going to be rescuing the soul of your party and leave that job of offering criticisms to CSOs and to some of us. For some of us, we have permanent interests in Ghana. We don't have permanent friends. And so just as we criticize President Akufo-Addo, I do not have any cause to believe that
It must so some of Daily Update TV.